こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、クリスタルパレスの鎌田大地に関する動画です。クリスタルパレスは、プレミアリーグ第6節で、5連勝無敗中だったリバプール相手に、劇的な勝利を挙げました。フットボールインサイダーが、鎌田大地に10点中で2点をつけたことは、素人から見ても呆れるほどでしたが、今回のバックオブザネストの動画では、スタッツサイトである、フースコワードが、鎌田大地に6.9点の機械採点をしている点にも憤慨しています。クリスタルパレスに来ておそらく最高の前半だったと言わしめた鎌田大地のパフォーマンスについて、実際にどのように話しているのか、チェックしてみましょ
う。Here he is. Thanks for your patience, mate.
Hey, no worries, no worries.
Bring in the animal.
What an emotional ride that was. I went from just sort of calmly confident for the whole game to in despair when they scored the equalizer to outrage at the handball decision by VAR, and then just ecstasy when the ball went in. I went red and blue in the face, to be quite honest with you, and I sort of screamed at my missus, "Justice!" like that, you know. So yeah, just an incredible game. But I'll tell you what has annoyed me more than anything else is Kamada getting a 6.9 or whatever for the player ratings.
That's bizarre, man. That's just wrong. There's something wrong.
What game are they watching? I don't understand.
Not this one.
If you want to say anyone out of Mitchell, Kamada, Richards, Hendo was man of the match, that's fine. But to not have Kamada even in the conversation is absolutely mental to me. Absolutely mental.
Honestly, it is crazy because you mentioned Richards as well. That, you know, in terms of the in fact, in terms of the entire, including players who came off the bench, Devaney in the 91st minute, whatever their algorithm is, had him scoring higher than both Richards and Kamada. So I'm going to ditch who scored in favour of something else.
Try SofaScore or FOTMob or something. That's their machine has absolutely broken. I mean, that is not right. But I think
that was Kamada's best. That was Kamada's best half in a Palace shirt. The first half, he was excellent. Yeah. And Liverpool were terrible, by the way.
They were, but I genuinely, I think, I know it gets said a lot, doesn't it? In terms of were they bad or were we just really good? And it is. We were really good. We were really good. Did you?
Yeah, it was both.
Did you see, like, we had clearly identified their weaknesses. You know, they took Bradley off at half time because we just absolutely, like, knew exactly what we did. We pin it, we go in behind him, long ball, diagonal, in behind. Same on the other side with Kirkes because they're Liverpool fullbacks, so they're forward all the time. So all we do, use that space. And we did it time and time and time again. And because they're Liverpool, because they won 5 on the trot, they don't think they have to change. And they, until they got in at half time, they didn't change. And like that's why we created so many chances. But anyway, carry on.
We look like a team in the rhythm of you know, momentum and that winning mentality at the moment. Liverpool in the first half, I've got to say, they were rattled by us. They couldn't match our energy. They couldn't match our passing. It was going off, you know, off the field here, there, and everywhere. It was. Oh, by the way, I've got bars on my windows because I live in Spain, so we have bars on our windows and doors out here. I just saw in the chat. But yeah, Liverpool, they just couldn't match up with us in the first half, and then throughout the entire game, they played 30 minutes of playing well. I thought they didn't really come out of the gates like I thought they would in the second half, and then they kind of picked it up a bit, you know, towards the end. I'd say it's about 25 minutes to 30 minutes of decent football from Liverpool. It was the fans should be a little bit annoyed about that, but I think they're not clicking, and I think we are the team that has clicked with our new players, and obviously with that momentum that we've been building for since the end of last season, we're looking like the stronger unit as a team.
What'd you make of? Just tell me what you thought. Eddie was terrific. I think there was a lot of comments about Eddie being absolutely on it last week. What'd you think about his performance coming on today and then getting that winning goal?
I think it was a little bit unfair for him to get that yellow card. I understand why, but I thought it was. You could have easily just let him off that. But yeah, I thought it was good. He was putting himself about, obviously popping up with the goal. I wouldn't say he was, it was amazing, but it's what I want to see Eddie doing, getting into the game and building on his momentum, building on his own personal progress as he comes back fully. It was only his second game playing, wasn't it? So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Eddie being a lot more part of the team.
I think there's a point to be made as well, right? Which is because you're right, Animal. He wasn't everywhere, right? But so if you think he came on in 75th minute, I think it was.
Yep.
And he had 6 touches of the ball, right? So it's not Isak bad from like the first half, but it's bad. It's not a huge amount of touches, and the reason for that, and we all know it, the reason for that is because he came on to the pitch at a time where, we were in that block, we weren't breaking continuously, we were waiting for opportunities, and we were keeping things tight. So as a striker coming off, the majority of his work is occupying space, pressing. There wasn't a lot of running the channels and all that kind of stuff, but it's all about being ready when your moment comes.
Well, and not only that, I mean, if we're gonna talk about that, it's 6 touches, but everything in context, which is something I tell to every other analyst who works with me, everything in context. Yeah. So numbers always in context. Here's the context number, Hambo. 6 touches, 3 of them in the penalty area. If you're going to only have 6 touches, have them in the place where you can make the difference.
Yeah.
When you come on as a substitute, it becomes about moments rather than the whole of the game, right? So Lerma came on. I didn't like Lerma in central midfield. He made some pretty poor passes where I think he got caught out in the middle of the park and he had to move the ball quicker and he wasn't comfortable doing it, lost the ball. Yeah. But he's the one that took the throw in, and that was his moment. That's good enough for me to be over a 6, or over a 7 in terms of player rating. So it's all about moments with these players, and Nketiah, moment of the year, maybe, apart from the FA Cup final.
Yeah, for sure.
Astonishing. Anyway, one last moment, anything else to say? I mean, you can comment on the fact that we're clearly going to win the league, if you like, for example. So.
I'd say don't get too carried away by that, because it's Liverpool, and it's not the same Liverpool, and they're still clicking, they're still gelling. So we need to maintain our humility and our drive, and just keep going in the right direction. Let's not get too excited about it, because next time when we face, let's say we face Arsenal or something, we could get caught out by this feeling like we're on top of the world. So let's stick with it and just keep on building and not get too carried away with ourselves.
Very, very good advice.
Unfortunately, I'm going to burst everyone's bubble.
I'm going to ignore it.
No, it is great advice, though. I mean, we want to enjoy this. We want to be in the moment. But man, what a moment, though, right? What a moment.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Animal. Cheers, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Up the Palace.
Up the Palace.
次は解説です。今回も難しいボキャブラリーはあまりませんでしたが、日常使いできるものも多くありましたので、本日の解説をチェックしてみましょ
う。In despair when they scored the equalizer.
In despair は絶望してや望みを失ってという状態を表します。例えば、大切な試合で最後の瞬間に負けてしまったとき、観客はインデスペアになり、つまり絶望してその光景を見守る場面にぴったりです。悲しいというより、もう希望が残っていない感覚が強調されます。文学的でフォーマルな響きがありますが、ニュースやスポーツでも耳にする表現です。つまり、覚えておくと感情表現が豊かになります。ぜひ自分の文章でも使ってみましょう。
In despair when they scored the equalizer. In despair when they scored the equalizer.
That's bizarre, man.
ビザは奇妙なや異様なという意味で、ネイティブは日常的に非常によく使う言葉です。単なるストレンジよりも強く、普通では考えられないくらい変だというニュアンスがあります。例えば、審判の判定が信じられないほどおかしいと言いたいときにアビザーディシジョンと表現します。またファッションや状況にもよく使えて、アビザーアウトはとても奇抜な服装のことです。少しネガティブに驚きを表す単語なので、面白いけどおかしい、理解できないという時に使いましょ
That's bizarre, man. That's bizarre, man.
Because they won 5 on the trot.
トロットの基本の意味は、早足や小走りで、馬や人が急ぎ足で進むときに使います。オンザトロットは、連続してや立て続けにという意味です。イギリス英語でよく使われ、特にスポーツで何連勝や何連敗と表現するときに使われます。日常会話では、休みなくや続けてという意味にもなります。アメリカ英語ではあまり聞かないので、イギリス英語らしい表現として覚えておきましょう。
Because they won 5 on the trot. Because they won 5 on the trot.
You could have easily just, let him off that.
レッドオフの基本の意味は解放するや下ろすですが、文脈によって見逃すや許すという意味でも使われ、例えば先生は彼を警告だけで許したという場面で使われます。また、花火や銃を打ち上げるや発射するという意味もあります。さらに、蒸気を出すという物理的な意味もあるので、イメージは何かを話す、解放するというものです。使う場面によって意味が変わるので注意しましょ
う。You could have easily just, let him off that. You could have easily just, let him off that. He was putting himself about.
put oneself about は、イギリス英語の口語で、精力的に動くや、存在感を出すという意味があります。例えば仕事で、もっと積極的に行動しなさいという時に put yourself about more と表現できます。サッカーでは、走り回ってチームに貢献するという意味でもよく使われます。一方で、砕けた口調では、遊び歩くや、軽薄に振る舞うというニュアンスにもなるので、文脈に注意が必要です。いずれにしても、ただ存在するだけでなく、自分を前に出して動き回るというイメージで覚えると理解しやすいです。
He was putting himself about. He was putting himself about. We could get caught out by this.
Get caught out は、不意をつかれるや油断して失敗するです。例えばサッカーで油断してカウンターを食らったという場面にぴったりです。日常会話でもよく使えて、嘘をついていたのがバレて困ったというような場面で使います。つまり、自分の弱点や油断をつかれて、思わぬ形で失敗することを表す表現です。特にイギリス英語で品質なので、スポーツ解説やニュースで耳にしたらすぐに思い出せるようにしましょ
う。We could get caught out by this. We could get caught out by this. Fortunately, I'm going to burst everyone's bubble.
バーストサムワンズバブルは、直訳すると、シャボン玉を割るですが、実際には、人の期待や幻想を壊すという意味で使います。期待を壊すようで悪いんだけど、という前置きフレーズとしてよく登場し、ネガティブな真実を伝えるときに柔らかく切り出す便利な表現です。スポーツでも、チームの敗北がファンの夢を壊したのように使えます。覚えておくと、会話やニュースで意味を取りやすくなります。
Fortunately, I'm going to burst everyone's bubble. Fortunately, I'm going to burst everyone's bubble.
いかがでしたか？スタッツサイトを見ると、実際に 6.9 点をつけていたのは、ソファスコアとフットモブで、フースコアードは 6.0 点の採点でしたが、やはり機械採点だけでは評価できない部分も大きいのでしょう。それでもフットボールインサイダーが10点中の2点をつけたのは、こっちの方が恥ずかしくなるほどでしたが、実際にボールロストはいくつかあったので、パレスファンがすでに鎌田に浸水してしまっているだけなのかもしれません。それでも、この試合の鎌田大地については、ファンから見ても、これまでで最高のパフォーマンスだったと評価され、その信頼も期待も大きいものが伺えました。まだもう少し、鎌田についての動画を上げたいと思っているので、よろしければそちらもお楽しみください。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。